Welcome back to the program, friend. Cowardice. That's the first C. Cowardice. There's so many definitions of cowardice. Here's a simple one. Cowardice is flight from duty. Flight from duty. And interestingly, in the book of Deuteronomy, when God explained the rules of war, he said, gather all of the men to fight the enemy. And he said, send anyone home who just got married, anyone who just planted a field, all right, just got a field and planted it for the first time, and send anyone home who's afraid so that they don't poison the hearts of their brothers. The problem with cowardice is, and by the way, courage is not the absence of fear, it's doing what's right in spite of your fear. So you can be afraid and still have courage at the same time and still do your duty. Cowardice is a flight from duty. But what's even more insidious about cowardice is that it sometimes seeks to label itself as prudence or wisdom. I don't know who created the phrase, wisdom is the better part of valor, but it might have been Benedict Arnold. And that is very stressful. In other words, there's so many times when someone knows what the right thing to do is, but they're afraid. And so they're not content to flee by themselves. They want to say, well, no, just wait a minute. Is this really wise? In other words, they start to recruit people. And that to me is one of the most insidious things about cowardice, is that it's a recruiter. People who are dragon slayers, they're warriors, and people who are enslaved to cowardice, they're both prophets, they're both seers. The good guys can see the conflict, but they also see being freed from the enemy. The people who are enslaved to cowardice, they too see the conflict. And because they're afraid of losing reputation, losing a job, losing friends, losing who knows what, they see the decimation, the conflict, and they're afraid. They see it, all right, and then they try and recruit other people. Well, do we really want to do that? Is that really wise? Don't you think that's a little extreme? It's a poison. Next C is compromise. When you know what the right thing to do is, but you don't want to do it, you look for ways to compromise. Well, I know I should say this, but maybe it'd be better if I just hold my tongue. Maybe you compromise by silence. Well, I know what I should do here, but if I do this, then the people at work are going to say that I'm a jerk, and they're going to talk about me behind my back, and I might not get that promotion that I want. I'm just not going to do it. Compromise. Well, if I do that or I say that, my in-laws, they already don't like me. I don't need to do it. It's not my problem. Forget about it. I know that abortion mill is there and they're killing babies, but it's not my deal. I'm not killing my babies, etc., etc., etc. We begin to justify our inaction and our silence, and we begin to look for ways for compromise. All right, I've got 2 C's left, 1 segment left. What are those 2 C's? This is my tricky, snappy way of getting you to stay with me. Go ahead, guess. What are the last 2 C's that we need to get rid of? Corruption? Cockamamie? I don't know. I'm just randomly pulling stuff out of thin air here, and they stink.